Good evening.
Good evening. It's actually good afternoon here.
Yes. It's
Yes.
4 o'clock your end, isn't it?
It is. It is. You know, that intro, your intro was great.
Thank you.
I think that's the first time I've seen that.
Yes, I like
That
to
was
tweak now and again.
Yeah, that was really, really good. I like that. And then obviously the Global Ghost Hunt intro. Every time I see it, it's just I don't know if it's the music or
Yeah, it's the
the
music gives,
pictures or all
yeah,
of it is just
gives
it
you
just gets
chills.
me. It gives me goosebumps. Yeah.
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 Gives me chills as well. So
So, as everyone can see, we don't have Nando. We have the lovely Brian John.
thank you.
Um,
Thank you for
Nando,
having me.
oh, pleasure. Nando currently is uh, having smoochies on holiday. And
That's
recently,
great.
he just sent me this one as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah. I don't,
there we go. What more
you
do you
know,
want?
me and AJ made that comment yesterday about people in Europe when they go on vacation. They don't really show where they are. They're showing them drinking.
Yeah, yeah, it's all about
But
the drinking.
yeah, I've heard from Nando every single day.
Oh,
And I
yes,
told him, dude, you're on vacation. Close Facebook, close your phone. Just
he's
leave your phone and yeah. What's
he's
that?
threatened to come pop up at some point because he wants to
Oh,
see him.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he
I told
misses
him to
MJ. He's like, "I'm gonna pop up and say hello."
I told him put everything away and just walk away for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Like,
he can't.
stop texting me. But
So,
no, it's all good. And honestly, it sounds like he's having a really, really good trip. So,
yeah,
and he's still
it's
got
nice.
another week and a half left.
Yeah, because 'cause you're
Yeah,
joining me next week for our show next week
there he
with
is.
Jenny.
See, he's already in the room.
Yeah,
Of course, he's probably in his hotel room now, right? Because it's 9 o'clock there. It's 9 o'clock there, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I would have thought
So,
so.
yeah.
Mm,
But thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And
no,
I have to be honest, what a great guest.
yes, MJ is brilliant. So, I first met MJ on Portal to the Paranormal's podcast.
Okay.
um, where she was saying one of the places she wanted to go and investigate was 30 East Drive.
Okay.
And I just put in the comments, I'm going in September. Would you like to join us? And I don't think she realized I was being serious at first. And she kept saying to Nando, is he being serious? I was like, yeah, deadly serious. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
when Rob says something, he means it. There's
Oh,
no joking
yes.
around. There's no joking around.
No.
Yeah.
So, should we bring MJ to the screen?
Now, before you do that, or yeah, bring her up because then I have a question for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hello.
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 How are you guys?
Yeah,
Good, thank you.
fantastic.
Hi, everybody.
Fantastic. Now, before we get started, I do want to ask first, MJ, are you going to 30 East Drive?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Now, my second
missing out.
question, I wish I was there, to be honest. My second one is for Rob. How many people are going now?
So there's MJ, me, little Rob. It's going to be his last one before he steps away.
Yeah. Okay.
Cameron, the new guy that's just joined our group, and then you've got the Portal. You've got Sarah, Nando, Dan Winters,
Wow.
and then you've got Lex is joining us.
Oh, Lex is coming.
Yeah. I spoke to Lex. I said, "Are you still coming?" He's like, "Yep, we're still definitely doing it." So I was like, "Okay."
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you know Lex, MJ. Lex is my co-host for my show Through the Lens.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah. So
yeah, pretty cool team to work with.
Yeah,
it's
great. There's going to be a lot of people. You sure there's going to be enough house?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
right.
I'm looking forward to the coal shed because Nando said the coal shed is the part where people tend to lock you in it. So,
well, what I would love to see you guys do, if you can, like everybody be in separate rooms, and doing something, and have a camera person come to each room and film and see what you get, and then what you guys after a little while switch it up, and everybody goes to, it's like a circle kind of type of thing.
Yeah.
That would be really, really cool if you guys could do that, something like that.
I know Dan's going to stream it live as well. He's going to put cameras in each place, so it's going to be streamed live.
In other words, I have to mind my swearing.
Oh, that's all right. We don't mind.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, if you know, the only swearing I think is not acceptable is mentioning a certain person. That's a swear word.
Yeah.
True. True, very true.
You can't say that on the live.
We're okay then.
Yeah. No, that's funny.
So we've got quite a few people in the room. Unfortunately, with StreamYard and Facebook, they come up Facebook users, but we go through some of the.
Oh
Hello?
my God! Look who's in the room. Tuber Chat, connect and grow. Do you know who Tuber Chat is?
I know Kevin, yeah, because
Kevin is a good friend of mine. He's been out to a couple of investigations with me. Yeah, I can't believe I seen Kevin. Now, Kevin, you're coming into Rob's room, but you never come into mine. I'm a little puzzled by that. I have to be honest.
Hey, Nando, go enjoy your holiday, damn it.
Yes, exactly.
He may pop up. So he's got all the links, so he may pop up at some point.
Now,
MJ,
am I wrong, MJ? Am I wrong? Shouldn't you, like, if you're on vacation, you close your phone?
You are asking the wrong person.
Okay.
I am a complete workaholic that burns the candle at both ends constantly.
Okay.
Even whilst on holiday. So don't even. I am
okay. Well, I guess I'm the only one that thinks that you should close your phone and walk away and enjoy your trip. That's all I have to say.
Hi, everybody.
I know it's difficult. It is very difficult. And to do that, I get it.
I am an exceptionally busy person. So yeah, there's no chance. I literally work through the nights, throughout the entire day, constantly.
Yeah. So let me, Rob, do you mind if I ask the first question, or
fire away, sir? Fire away.
So how did this all begin for you? How did you get into the paranormal world? And I know you're a paranormal investigator. I also know you're executive producer on a lot of these shows. But how did you actually start in the paranormal?
I come from a very long line of crazy ladies. That's exactly how I started. So my whole family are psychics, pretty much 5-6 generations. And so I grew up with all things paranormal. It was normal to me. Yeah. I couldn't understand that other people didn't find it normal. You know, that ghosts weren't part of their everyday lives. So I mean, I had experiences from the age of 4 that I can vividly remember. And it just kind of progressed from there. I guess growing up and being surrounded by it all the time, it was only natural that I was going to sort of explore it more, if you will. My father was very much a skeptic. He was a military man, and mum away with the fairies. So I had the best of both worlds. I had this really nice balance between very spiritual and paranormal side and very logical, rational side. And so I eventually started developing my mediumship. I didn't really have a choice. Pretty much all the women in our family are psychics.
Yeah. Okay.
But I was a very reluctant medium. And so I kind of went on this journey to develop my mediumship, and through that started investigating the paranormal to understand more about the scientific side of things. You know, how are we able to capture their voices, or why are they able to move things? And I guess that was my dad's side coming through, you know, very much having to take something apart and figure it out and put it back together and be okay with the answers. And I'm still looking for those damn answers. So I guess that's why I've carried on.
Yeah, I think most of us are as paranormal investigators, right? And we were talking before the show started. I was saying I always put paranormal investigators in categories of like the hunter, the ones looking for the answer, and the scientific ones. Where would you put yourself in that category?
Oh my gosh. Definitely looking for answers, but also very much on the side of the scientific as well. I do like a blend of both. I think you need to have a very healthy skeptical side. You know, you need to question everything. But then, you know, I'm psychic medium. So for me, it's a really fine balance of like, okay, I'm picking up this information psychically.
Yeah.
How can I, you know, capture this? How can I document it? Can I get EVPs to validate what I am picking up? So I like a blend of both. Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah, cool.
Good. So we've got a lot of comments about reading your book. So this is one of the best books I've read.
Don't make me cry on live things.
After you were chatting to Nando about it, I literally went out and brought it straight away. I ordered it on Amazon. It's such a great read, and I'm looking forward to book number 2. So when do you think that'll be released?
Oh my gosh. So hopefully I fly to America in 2 weeks, and I'm really trying to get it done before I fly. At the moment, that's pushing it. It's a bit of a crazy task, considering the first one took me 6 years to write, and I'm trying to do this one in like a couple of months. But hopefully September at the latest, it'll be out. I'm really excited about it. I finally had the opportunity to go back to my roots. I went to Zimbabwe, where I'm born, and I was raised between Zimbabwe and South Africa. So I finally got a chance to go back to Zimbabwe and South Africa and explore the supernatural side of things, looking into African witchcraft, looking into cryptids, like their river gods. They have twerking cryptids. It's amazing. It's just great. Discovering these sacred places that are still very sacred in the African culture, that have these amazing legends and lore, discovering things like the mermaids of Zimbabwe, speaking to people who were part of one of the most well-documented alien landings, the Rua School incident, at Ariel School. So it was just an incredible trip. And basically this whole second book is everything that I discovered on the journey. Yeah. So it's called Beneath the African Sky.
Very cool.
That is, all supernatural Africa.
So your first book took you a very long time to write. And for people that don't know your book, and our first time seeing you that are in the audience, what is the first book about?
It is my paranormal life story, really. It's an autobiography, and it's 85 stories, thereabout, of some of my biggest aha moments to do with the paranormal and all things spiritual. So, the first time I realized as a child that I could see things. The first time that I realized I could move things. The first time I started developing my abilities and being able to hear them. Like, how did I deal with that? How do you learn how to psychically protect yourself? Where do you even start? And it's a collection of stories of my aha moments that taught me little lessons that I hope when somebody else reads it, maybe it helps make sense in their minds. Maybe it helps them look at some of their experiences in a different light. And there's some, stories of love, and there's stories of tragedy and losing family members, dealing with grief, going through cancer. So I went through stage 3 cancer and chemo and all of that. And it was like dealing with that and the paranormal side and so it's just little life lessons that I learned in the paranormal, basically, that I wanted to share and hope that makes a difference in someone else's life. And if it helps one person, that's made it worth it.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And Rob, you said you read it. Have you read it? Have you read the whole?
I think I've got 2 chapters to go, and it's so intense, but it's so good.
It's intense. It's a big book. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in your life in that book.
Yeah. And it's
That's
weird
a great
because
thing.
I feel like the whole world is reading my diary. The moment we hit publish, I was like, oh crap. Like the whole world is going to know my entire life story. Like, everything.
It's comments like this that I'm positive that make you feel really good. If you can bring that up, Rob,
make me cry.
Like what, MJ's book helped me realize I was normal growing up, seeing similar things. That's, I'm sure it's comments like that make it worth the 6 years of writing this book.
Yeah.
And it only took 6 years because of like major imposter syndrome. I think a lot of people don't realize, like, just because you work in television or you're in the limelight or you do lectures at conventions and that sort of thing, it doesn't mean that we don't have moments where we're like, crap, like, I'm putting this out there. Is anyone going to like it? Like, what do I have to share? So it only took that long because I kept deleting it. And I kept going, no one wants to read this. No one's going to read this stuff. And I kept deleting it and starting again and deleting it and starting again. And then eventually I just thought, you know what? I'm just putting it out there. I'm going to stick it out there and hope for the best. And my plan was never to become a #1 selling author. It was to share information and make a difference in someone else's life, help them somehow.
I would definitely say that actors and paranormal investigators, we are our own worst critics, and especially authors too. And so I get it. And but obviously with a lot of the comments in the room, it was well worth it. I'm a true believer in the fact that things happen for a reason, and the reason it took this long because it was going to be that good, and people were going to read it at this time,
at the right time,
years ago, maybe not 3 years ago, maybe not 2 years ago. They're reading it now because there's a reason they're reading it now.
I think there were also a lot of experiences that I needed to reflect on, and I needed to understand what lessons I learned from them myself. And, looking back at some of the stories, it was intense. Like, I went through a lot. It was really intense. And it was also processing all of those emotions myself, like writing about my brother's death. My brother was my world. And writing about his death, I sat in front of this keyboard sobbing uncontrollably, trying to process those emotions myself, and I, as a psychic medium, I don't have to say goodbye. And that's why the book is called Never Goodbye, Only Good Night. Because I don't have to say goodbye to them. They're still there. And we should always remember that. They're still around us and they still check in on us, but even as a psychic medium, trying to process that grief and having that understanding, I broke down so many times thinking, what's it like for people who can't communicate with the other side? Like, oh my God, death is so final for them. And it literally broke my heart. So it was a lot of emotion to process going through writing that book. Whereas book 2, Supernatural Africa, is just this epic adventure. It was super fun. I actually went home for a very personal reason. We actually did the trip back home to finally spread my brother and my father's ashes in a place that I think they would have loved. And so that was the whole reason for the trip. It was kind of this closure after releasing my book as well and processing all of that emotion. It was that final letting go and releasing their ashes. And so that was the reason I went home. And I thought, while I'm there, I'm going to need something to keep me occupied, to take my mind off the main reason I'm there. Otherwise, I'm just going to be an emotional wreck. I'm just going to spend a month in Africa sobbing every day. And I'm not like that. So, I took the opportunity to just explore things while I was there.
So I've got a little video from your African trip, if you're happy for that to be played.
Oh, sure.
All right, I'll pop it on.
That was great.
Amazing.
Thank you.
That was great. I love I've always been a huge fan of that type of music. I love everything about that music. So is there anything when you were in Africa and now writing this book or anything, is there anything that stands out paranormal wise? Because I'm sure you did some paranormal stuff while you were there, right? Is there anything that you'd like to share with us?
Not so much investigating as in ghost hunting, if you will.
Yeah.
It was more exploring their African culture and traditions and their beliefs in the supernatural. So it was really fascinating. I mean, I had a few things planned that I really wanted to do. For instance, in the video, you see the Sangoma, the witch doctor wearing the feathered headdress and stuff. And I sat down with him for a few hours and spoke to him about some of the witchcraft and, oh my gosh, and just, you know, how they curse people, how they heal people, you know, what sort of things that they do, some of the stuff that he used. Thank you very much. I appreciate that comment. It was very cool to sit down with a Sangoma, like a proper traditional Sangoma. It was fine until I realized I was sat in the room with a killer that had actually killed people using witchcraft.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Oh, this is great.
Thanks for the conversation. Time to go.
Right? That was terrifying. You know, that realization, because I had a translator with me and he got really nervous and he was like, yeah, so like this guy actually kills people. And I was like, wait, what? I'm in the middle of rural Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna die. This is how we make ghosts, children. So, you know, there were a few moments where I was like, oh, that wasn't the best idea. Just like wandering into, you know, the middle of nowhere, speaking to somebody like that. But then, you know, there were these great discoveries, like seeing the Chinoi caves for the first time blew my mind. It was so beautiful and picturesque. It was just breathtaking.
Is that where the blue water was?
Yeah. It's ridiculously the bluest blue you've ever seen. It's ridiculous. And you know, there were these happy little discoveries along the way. Like I didn't know that Zimbabwe has a problem with mermaids. Like who would have thought?
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, the Minister of Agriculture actually stopped work on 2 different dams because the workers claimed that they were being dragged into the water by mermaids, and it's a thing in Zimbabwe. I had no idea. I'm born there and I didn't know.
That's crazy.
So there were these like happy little side excursions that popped up where I you know, went down a rabbit hole I wasn't expecting. I was chatting with a lady the one day and she very casually went, oh yeah, I've seen aliens. And I was like, wait, what? I'm sorry, come again? Like, so wait, okay, elaborate. And so we had this great conversation and it led me down this rabbit hole of like speaking to another person who had allegedly witnessed this alien landing, and then speaking to one of the children who was at the school during the time that these crafts landed in Zimbabwe. And, you know, having a first-hand experience, like speaking to this person, this incredible encounter and hearing their stories. And then that led down another rabbit hole. It was just a month of random, happy synchronicities. Just a lot of high strangeness. It was very cool.
It looked like you were having fun doing the dance.
Yes. And that was at the airport, actually, where the guys, as soon as I walked out, there was a whole bunch of guys dancing. I was like, I'm getting in there.
So, how did you get involved in TV? Where did the executive producer come from?
Oh,
when did that all start?
Yeah, honey, I'm almost.
Okay.
No, almost. No. I've produced and directed a couple of things. I say a couple of things. I've lost count, actually. Basically, it was Nick Graff. I have Nick to thank for it because I had never dreamed of working in television. You know, other than doing your own YouTube things and filming your own independent documentaries and stuff, I never thought I'd actually get into production. And when Nick and Katrina were doing Paranormal Lockdown UK, they needed a few locations and they hit me up. I got on board. I organized some of the locations and stuff for them. And I was like, wow, this production stuff is pretty cool. I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
And I like putting things together. And then from there, a very good friend of mine who's an amazing executive producer and director, and that she got hold of me and she was like, hey, Travel Channel are doing this show. They want to film in the UK. It's called Most Terrifying Places. She was like, do you want to be the UK fixer for that? And I was like, sure. What's that? No idea what that is, but I'll do it. And she was like, produce like the UK segments, put everything together, and then we come over, we film everything, and then we leave. I'm like, I can do that. So I did Most Terrifying Places, and then I was cast for on screen for a show called Paranormal Captured for Sky TV. So I did a few seasons of that, a couple seasons of a winter special. And then, just snowballed from there. I kind of became the UK's go-to person when somebody from the States wants to film something paranormal here. It's always like, oh, hey, speak to MJ. So, yeah. Now I've done Destination Fear, Hotel Paranormal, In Search of the Paranormal. I forget all of them.
So it's
I've
really
just done a
when
new
people
one
come
that
over...
I can't talk about just yet.
Yeah. So really, at the end of the day, it's people when they're coming over to Europe. That's when MJ is called and saying, we're doing this. Can you be a part of that? Or do you go to the States as well?
And I mean, I love it. Yeah, I really love it. I think, the UK has space for some new UK-based paranormal shows. I think there definitely is a market for it. But again, right now, television is like, you got all the strikes and things happening everywhere, and there's just a lot of drama, internal drama within television at the moment. I think a lot of people are just trying to find their feet, and so hopefully sometime soon. I know there's a lot of new programs that have been filmed recently for Ghosttober on Discovery Plus. We've got a whole month full of new paranormal programs and stuff. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully sometime in the very near future. We got a couple things in the pipeline at the moment, and we're just waiting to know whether or not they're going to be greenlit. It's all timing right now. So
yeah.
What was it like working with Dakota and Chelsea and all that lot?
So I didn't work directly with them. I was the production side of things, and they're lovely. They're really lovely. I mean, I spoke to them. We were both speakers at Michigan Paracon last year. And yeah, I mean, they're really nice. I mean, I chat with Dakota every now and again, and they're really, I call them kids. They're not. Like, they're not much younger than me. And I'm always like, the kids are great.
Yeah.
I do love I love Project Fear. I think that's brilliant.
The way that they've done a great job. Yeah, they've done a fantastic job.
So I'm actually because you've been in the business a long time, and you've worked with a lot of different, obviously, groups and production companies and seeing a lot of different things. I'm actually kind of curious to get your perspective on when it comes, because it seems to be getting bigger as a problem in this industry when people are, especially a lot of people on YouTube that are faking.
Ugh.
This faking. I'm kind of curious because you've basically seen it all and you've worked with people that are known for it. What is your opinion about all of that?
I have been really lucky. The shows that I've worked on, especially the investigations that I've done, I've been really lucky that it's been really real. And I think a lot of that is down to I won't keep my mouth shut. I don't keep my mouth shut. Yeah, hashtag it's a demon. A lot of that recently, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've it's amazing how many, like, I go out paranormal investigating all the time and I never see them, but these people seem to see them all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently I'm going to the wrong spot.
They're everywhere.
They're every single week.
I can say this. There is a show that I've just filmed, and I'm actually very worried about how it's going to be portrayed on camera because the investigation was very intense. There were a lot of things that happened that I wasn't expecting. It's probably one of the more intense investigations I've done in a very long time.
Okay.
And when it comes to, it's not a possession. I'm going to say that right now because I can guarantee they're going to say it was a possession on television, obviously, because that's ratings. But, we've all had moments where a spirit can put their emotions onto you and make you feel really aggressive or make you feel really overwhelmed or sad, like you are feeling their emotions. And we know that happens in this field. So there was a situation where someone became exceptionally angry and wanted to lash out and actually said to me, I wanted to kill you. It did get very intense. But what was interesting is that we have an EVP that was captured shortly before that saying, watch out, he'll kill you.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
wow.
Okay. So, there was kind of there were a lot of things that happened in a very short space of time. Basically, shit hit the fan. I'm just going to say it that way.
Okay.
It got very intense very quickly. And so when we finished filming all of it, because it was very much documentary style, and the film crew just stood back. They were literally fly on the wall during all of that. And I'm very worried about how that's going to get portrayed on television, like how they edit it, because instantly they can take anything you've said and twist it, and it's all going to be demonic and possessions and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean, I can say that some of the things that we do watch on television where we go, yeah, that's faked. Actually, sometimes it's very real. It's just down to bad editing that makes it look fake.
Yeah.
So I think there are a lot of people out there who are still trying to be very genuine in their investigation.
Yeah, that was weird. I was going to say, what was that?
That was my office light that just
flickered
weirdly. It was in a really bright flash.
It doesn't like the topic. Okay, end this topic right now. We don't like
They're like, okay, we're done. So but there's also a lot of people out there that think it is okay to fake things just to get views and to get likes. But yeah, it's my butler. Yes.
Your butler.
Sorry.
So Nando's good lady, and one of my new members of our team, we may have a proposition for you for early next year. We're going to my haunted hotel to spend the night.
Okay. It depends on when it is.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Hell, dude. Sorry. Just shouting at the ghost in my house. Sorry. Don't mind me.
So, yeah, we'd like to get you to come along to that as well if you're about.
Okay. I mean,
when are you doing that, Rob?
We're looking at doing it early next year.
Okay.
How early of next year?
Well, we might wait for you to come over and grace.
Well, that's why I was saying, because I was thinking about coming up and coming out there in January or February time. So I was in the UK last year, not this past March, year before, and we did a crap load of places. We did 11 locations in 14 days.
Damn.
And, yeah, talking about paranormal hangover, it was a lot, but it was fantastic. I absolutely love the UK, and I know a lot of people probably in this room that are not from the UK would love to go to the UK and do an investigation, because I'll be honest, like the energy there is completely different than here in North America. It really is.
It really is. It's very different. I mean, I've had the opportunity to investigate so many different states, and and all over the UK, and yeah, it's very, very different.
Yeah, because when I first got off the plane in the UK, I could feel it right away. Like when I'm out on investigations, like like I know this is the first time we're meeting, MJ. Like I have abilities as well, so but I'm what you consider a sensitive, so I see them. Unfortunately, I can't see facial features and I can't hear them, but I see them. And when I see something, it's usually a black mass, and but I could tell if it's a woman or a male. But as soon as I got off the plane, it was like, bam! I started hearing them.
Mm-hmm.
I started seeing I started seeing little bits of facial features, and then when I came back, it was gone.
It's way more intense out here. It's very different.
Yeah.
I just want to say hi to everybody in the comments that's just joined, and
yeah, there's a lot of people saying a lot of different things.
So I actually host a 10-night paranormal holiday throughout the UK. So I've just finished one. So we did Wales and England, and it's a blend of paranormal and history. So we do things like you want to go to tourist hotspots, you want to go to Stonehenge, you want to go to the Tower of London, Highgate Cemetery. You want to see all of those sorts of things because they're very cool places to visit. They really are. And yes, it's touristy, but you just got to pick the right days to go. And then we also do a lot of investigations. So for this trip, we did Craigienos Castle, the Skirrid Inn, the White Swan, Shepton Mallet Prison. Help me out if anyone was on the tour. It's in the comments. I can't remember. I don't know. So we do a lot of different investigations, castles, prisons, pubs, inns, that sort of thing. So you get kind of an overview of what it's like to investigate different places in the UK. Mary Arden. Yes, thank you, Elizabeth.
There you go.
Mary Arden Inn. So it was 4 or 5 investigations in 10 days, as well as a lot of travel, a lot of sightseeing, a lot of ghost walking tours, the Highgate tours and things like that. It was really fun. It's very intense. It's an action-packed adventure. Like, don't think you're going to come out here for 10 days and be like, oh yes, I'm on holiday and it's going to relax. No, we've got stuff to do. Like, we have things to explore.
Yeah. So when I was there last year, I did over 15,000 kilometers.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, we did it. We did a lot. We did a lot of different places. I was just amazed. And our very last investigation, we did Fort Whitley.
Oh, I like Fort Whitley.
Yeah, which was really, really incredible location. And there's a particular gentleman in there that I continually saw throughout the investigation, and he wasn't a very happy fella. Let's just put it this way.
Was he by any chance mainly around the spiral staircase in the middle?
Yeah, and down near the center as well. He actually came up to me and screamed in my face.
So we captured an EVP there from that guy. That was really interesting. So we did the Singapore experiment where we recreated an air raid siren blaring and, like the chaos of like, run, get to your stations. And we had another investigator walking around like barking orders. Like, he said something like, you're lagging behind there, Smithy, get to your station. And we hear this real stern voice, EVP, saying, I'm right behind you.
And I wonder if that's the same guy.
Crystal clear.
After that, I went into another room, and me and Sarah, Nando's wife, were doing an SB7. And the first thing I asked was, what is your name? Because as soon as I walked into that small little room there, I felt something like right away. So I turned on my SB7, and if memory serves me correct, I believe his name was Ted.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I was going to ask you, did you capture any names through your investigation?
It was such a long time ago. Okay. Probably. Yeah, it was years ago. So
this was like a blurred out name, like Ted, like it was clear as day. And
cool.
And being that far underneath the ground, no radio, people, no radio whatsoever. And it's what I found really, really interesting while I was there too. But again, we did 11 investigation over 14 days. I think with my SB7, I think I captured radio maybe once or twice.
Yeah,
that was it.
Because you're underground in the forts and things, you really very rarely get radio bleed through. It's very cool using them there.
Yeah, and
I like, Fort Horsted as well. Fort Horsted's very cool in Kent.
Okay, no, I didn't go. We didn't go there. We did. We also did the Murley House.
Yeah, that's where we caught a great EVP, but it was actually Lex clearing his throat.
It was actually Lex.
We were all so excited, MJ. We thought we had the best EVP ever, and we were like, yeah. And then when we played it back on different angles, Lex goes and clears his throat.
Oh no, I hate that so much. And that just goes to show it's always good having a passive EVP recorder running constantly in the background so that you have something to verify. We captured something at the Skirrid Inn, I forget, last year. My gosh, everything's blurred into one. But I was there investigating with the paranormal author Richard Estep. And Richard, I say paranormal author, he does true crime as well. But he decided he wanted to write a book about the Skirrid Inn and about Shepton Mallet Prison. And so we spent like 4 nights investigating each place. And at one point, you have those moments on investigations where it's just silly humor and you're so tired because this is like day 3 in a row and you're kind of delirious already and you just have this bit of banter. And so there were 4 of us in this room at the Skirrid Inn, and we started doing a human pendulum experiment. And like, I'm not sold on it, but I'm open to trying different methods and things. So whatever gets you information that you can verify, right? And so I was doing an EVP session whilst we were doing this. And Richard had his recorder running directly next to mine. My light keeps going mental. And so I played my recorder back, and there's this male voice that says, "Thank God my friends act normal." And I was like, I looked at one of the other guys, Carl. I looked at him and I was like, "Funny dude." And he was like, "I didn't say that." I'm like, well, it wasn't Richard. It's not his accent because he lives in Colorado. So his Leicester accent is very watered down now. And he was like, "I didn't say it." And it's crystal clear. And when we played his recorder back, it wasn't on there. So it was only on the one recorder, like literally they were right next to each other. And it was very interesting. So it's always good to have another recorder so you can debunk things like that.
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot of trolls.
I was just about like, dude, why even bother? Like, seriously, why?
I've just
like, is that really necessary? Like, we're all trying to have a good time here, talk to a wonderful guest, and then you say stuff like that. It's just completely
I never called myself a paranormal expert once.
No,
like, it's just really ridiculous.
Like, no, you get them. It's the industry.
Yeah, you get them, and where they're really, really bad is on TikTok as well, especially if you're doing a live.
Thing is, MJ, you've got loads of fans that are shouting back, so
thank you. I appreciate it. But you know what? The best thing to do is if someone has negative comments, just ignore it. Honestly,
well, of course,
there's no need to retaliate. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
But of course, that's true too. But to be that negative, it's just move on. Move on.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yep,
happens on the internet.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So,
but you get to a certain point where you go, okay, well, if it keeps on happening, you need to speak up and say something and just say, listen, move on. So, and where it's really bad is TikTok, like I was saying. I've done many lives on TikTok and it's horrible. It's really, really bad. So, the Paracon, the Sage Paracon.
Yes.
Is that like, obviously this is my first time hearing about the Sage Paracon. Can you talk a little bit about the Sage Paracon? Are you the one that started it, or is it a group of people that started it? Talk about the Sage. Yeah.
So I started Sage Paracon in 2016. We had the first one. I think it was 2016. But I actually, while I was going through chemo, I needed something to take my mind off things. I needed to just focus on anything other than what I was going through. And so I decided I was going to put a convention together, from a hospital bed.
That's an odd thing to think of.
Well,
I'm going to put a convention together.
My thought process was,
yeah,
they were like, we don't know if you have 6 months or 6 years. We have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I had a very rare type of cancer. Anyway, and so I was convinced that if I had something to look forward to, like, I'd still be around, I'd stick it out. And I thought, if I am going to go, I'm going out with a bang. I'm going to have a weekend like filled with all things paranormal, surrounded by like-minded people, and we're just going to have a great weekend. And if that's my last weekend, do you know what? I'm happy.
That's great.
And yeah, I scheduled it for like 2 weeks after I finished my last chemo session as like hey, I'm still here. I'm still this side of the Ouija board. And we had a great time. It was fantastic. And then, so many people were like, when's next year? And I was like, I didn't even think I was going to be here for this one. I was like, never mind next year. I wasn't thinking about that. And so, every year I've gone, I'm not doing another one. I'm not. It's just too much work. It's just, I spend an entire year putting this event together. And every year I'm a sucker because I stand there and I watch the beautiful connections that are made, the amazing friendships that are formed, the networking, the family that come out of it, the Sage tribe, and everyone's so welcoming and so lovely. And I see how many people learn so much more that they take away and they use on their investigations, and it betters the way they investigate, or it just maybe opens their minds and they view things from a different perspective. And so, it's a lot of hard work, but it is a great weekend. It's all about learning as much as you possibly can. We have great speakers from the States and the UK. We focus on everything from mediumship and developing your mediumship, or any psychic gifts, to cryptids, to investigation techniques. We cover pretty much anything under the umbrella of paranormal. And yeah, we have a really great time doing it. We have a good VIP party with very, very bad karaoke. Actually, I can't say that because we have phenomenal singers that just ruin it for everybody else over the weekend. I say very bad karaoke. It's my very bad karaoke. So lectures, Q&A sessions, VIP party. We have a 3-course VIP dinner, a themed dinner. And actually, I should release the theme for the dinner this year. I haven't told anyone. I should announce it now.
There you go.
Stage is yours.
Okay. So on the Thursday night, we do a paranormal investigation of Coombe Abbey Hotel, which is built in like 1058 or something. It's ridiculous. And then Friday night is our VIP dinner. And this year's theme is a Viva Las Vegas paranormal murder mystery night.
Oh, wow.
So
that's
we
great.
have a full theater production that is tailored for us. So while you sit down and you have your dinner, we have all the guest speakers with all of us. We're all mingling and telling stories and things. We have a full theater team that puts on this incredible show on stage and around us in the crowd. And yeah, it's a Viva Las Vegas. So glitz, glam. It's, Frank Sinatra and Elvis and the likes. So anything old school Vegas. And
that's
then
cool.
that's going to be the theme. So we'll have a paranormal murder mystery to solve.
Nice.
And I believe.
And when is that and where is it?
So this takes place the 26th to the 29th of October, and that is at Coombe Abbey Hotel in Coventry, West Midlands. We do have 4-day packages, 3-day packages, a weekend package, and just a day ticket. You know, if you just want to join in, but it is a whole day. It's not like a day ticket from 8 till 5. You're there from like 10 till 1 in the morning, because we have the Saturday talks followed by a VIP party, or you have the Sunday talks followed by our paranormal pub quiz on the Sunday night. We get together, have a few drinks, and have the pub quiz. So, don't forget Dean Martin. Yes. Sorry, I just saw that comment. And again, it's 26th to 29th of October in Coventry. Definitely come and join us. You will get there not knowing anyone and leave with an entire family. I can guarantee it. They're lovely. And it's quite a small event. We're around about 100, 150 people. So it's a very, it's a real tailored, small, exclusive event. I want people to have the most amount of time that they can with the speakers. I want them to be able to grab a beer, sing karaoke with them, have a chat, pick their brain all weekend. So it is very small, very intimate. And then I have one in America as well.
So cool.
That's, the 29th of September to the 1st of October. And it is held at the historic Belgrove Plantation in King George, Virginia.
Wow. Okay.
And we have, workshops, lectures, meet and greets evening with snacks and drinks, paranormal investigation of the plantation. Yeah, it's a real good weekend. I mean, the guys in the comments will tell you, Spooky Sisters, hello. They're regulars. They've been there for a few years. But come and join us. It'll be fun.
We got somebody in the room. We got somebody in the room right now, Howard Petrie. He's actually got Paracon coming up as well. It's called the Fear Fest Paracon in New Orleans. It just happens to be the same. It just happens to be the same dates as yours in September.
Okay, so I need more information. Fear Fest.
Fear Fest, yes.
I was just in New Orleans because I host a 10-night paranormal holiday out there. So I got back. I was there in May, and I went for a psychic reading in a voodoo shop. And the psychic looked at my cards and he was kind of like, well, not really much I can tell you. And we just chatting. And he was like, hey, we have a guy out here doing Fear Fest.
Howard Petrie is the one. Howard Petrie is the one that's running it.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah. So they're actually, I wonder if this is the same guy that they're going to have at the event. They're going to have some kind of voodoo at the event as well. So I'm wondering if it's the same guy.
Well, hey, listen, if you need more guest speakers for NOLA next year, I'm in. Like, New Orleans stole my heart many years ago.
Yeah, I'm a guest speaker in September.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah, at the Fear Fest. Yeah, so I'm looking.
Damn, I wish it wasn't the same weekend.
I'm looking forward to it. So, then I will also be a guest speaker at Tombstone Wild West Paracon next May.
That's another one on my bucket list.
Yeah,
I know Greg Lawson and all of them were there this year, and they're really close friends of mine. So, yes, Voodoo Authentica. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Howard is somebody that Howard, you need to reach out to MJ.
Yes,
or MJ, you need to reach out to Howard.
I mean, it will also be great. Like, depending on the dates next year, I'm putting together another one of my New Orleans tours, so maybe we could get around about the same time.
That would be cool.
I could bring the guests over. That would be cool.
That's
very
cool.
kind. Thank you.
And this is why these shows are done, right? Because
absolutely,
you get to meet people in the audience that you're gonna have a connection with, and And this is why Rob does these type of shows. This is why I do these type of shows, just because everybody gets to meet everybody, right? And
that's it.
There's always that one person that you have on the show that has an instant connection with somebody in the audience.
Yeah.
And you start planning stuff, and this is why I love doing these type of shows. You know what I mean?
That's how we met.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. Because you were on Portal to the Paranormal, right?
Yeah.
And so what I guess yeah, feel free.
I will. Thank you.
We can
Howard,
send you the link. We can send you Howard's link, and you guys can hook up and talk for maybe next year. I think that would be amazing. What a way to for the tour that you do, that they can go to an actual
awesome.
Paracon. Yeah, that's amazing.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, would like to know, what is your channel link?
Oh my gosh. So do you know what? I don't really have a YouTube channel that I put anything on. I'm awful with that. I basically have my Patreon page, and everything I do goes on Patreon, like all my research, chapters of my books, blogs, videos, everything. So I actually filmed my entire trip in Africa, and I've broken that up into different episodes. I've got one more episode to finish editing and put together. But all of that is on my Patreon, so you can see the whole behind the scenes of the entire trip, some of the shows that I've worked on. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff on there. Some workshops, like how to read tarot cards or how to cast spells. You know, we did a witchcraft. We did a witchcraft 101 class. We've done in a couple of weeks. We're doing. Speaking of New Orleans, our next Patreon workshop is actually how to make voodoo dolls and how to work with them. 5,000 to 35,000 in attendance. Holy mama. That's incredible.
Howard, are you talking about this year or next year? Because he said next year is going to be a lot bigger.
Wow.
So, but this is, I think this is the first time. I think this is the first time they've had this type of event in New Orleans. I don't think they've had a Paracon in New Orleans.
You know, there have been smaller ones, but nothing on that scale. No.
Yeah, this year he's talking about.
Yeah.
This year? You're expecting 5,000?
Wow.
Whew.
That just put the pressure. That just put the pressure on me. That just put the pressure on me when I'm upstage speaking.
All of a sudden, Brian's like, "Oh, I don't feel well. I don't think I can attend."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Oh, Howard, I'm sorry, I couldn't get the flight.
Wow, that's great. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm actually speaking at Michigan Paracon in August. So from like in the next 2 weeks, I'm on the road again doing all sorts and events everywhere. But I start off with a bit of a research week in Colorado, and that's with Richard Estep. We are working on a case. It's a serial killer farm. It's a very joyful case. Howard has kidnapped the whole of New Orleans. Sounds like it. So I'm out there doing some research with Richard, and then I fly to Michigan Paracon, which I think that this year it's going to probably be about 1,600, 1,700 people at Michigan. It's a great event as well. So I'm going to be doing a workshop, an EVP workshop out there.
Cool.
And I'm doing a lecture with Richard Estep about our transatlantic psychic remote viewing experiments. So we've done some really incredible research over the last 2 years revolving all around remote viewing. And so we're going to be, someone see you in Michigan. Yay. We're going to be out there doing a lecture and workshop and all of that. And then, I've got
that's awesome
stage stuff planned. I've got another UK tour in November for starting on Halloween. And so
you've sent me some, let me put these up. You've sent me some pictures.
Hey, there it is. Sage Paracon this year. That's some of our wonderful speakers. We've got Brad Blair and Tim Ellis, who actually run Michigan Paracon. They are from the UPPRS Paranormal, Upper Peninsula Paranormal Research Society. I remembered it. And they're doing a talk on cryptids and stuff. We've got, that's the England and Wales tour. And then we've got, you know, Calvin Von Crush and the godfather of the paranormal, and the incredible Jeff Belanger. That man can tell a story. Like, that man is just the most incredible Paracon lecturer you've ever heard. It's ridiculous. And then the wonderful Kim Sage, who is a phenomenal psychic medium out in Virginia as well. Would I ever do a Danish paranormal tour? I've never thought of it. I don't see why not. I could do that. We can figure something out.
So obviously you've done a lot of investigations in the past, and I'm kind of curious. I know you're a medium, I know you're a psychic and all that stuff, and you go on investigations, but if there was a tool in your bag that you want to use on your investigation, that you want to grab for, what is that tool that you're going to use?
EVP
other than yourself.
An EVP recorder. Honestly, EVP has always been my thing. It's probably because I'm clairaudient mainly, so I can hear them. And so I walk into a room and I can go, hey, someone here is real talkative, and then record. And I tend to get some very interesting EVPs. I'm also very nosy and I talk a lot. So I guess they eventually just give up and they're like, for God's sakes, just answer her. Like,
you're the EVP queen and Brian's the EVP king. So
oh, hey.
Well, no, I'm the SB7 whisperer.
Okay.
So when that's what my title has been given. It was given to me a couple of years ago because of the amount of evidence I've captured over the SB7, and I like it personally. I think it's really cool. Yeah, to be honest. So I'm not the Spooky Sister. I'm not big on equipment, but EVP is our favorite to go to. Yeah, I get it. When when you're doing a voice recorder and you capture something, there's no denying it. There's really no denying it. So, but what's that?
I was like, you talk a lot. Never. Thanks.
So this person had a happy birthday EVP from my birthday with MJ at the Mary Arden Inn.
Yes, Allison. We were investigating. It happened to be her birthday, and we were doing a great EVP session, just getting quite a bit of evidence. And she was like, "Hey, it's my birthday. Can you say happy birthday?" And yeah, wow. We ended up getting a happy birthday. It was very cool.
Great.
Very, very cool.
That is awesome.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Anyone who knows me knows I do not shut up.
Okay. Yeah. I'm the exact same way. I tend not to stay quiet for very long. No. So, Rob, you want to ask anything more? Or?
So obviously 5th of September.
Yes.
What are you hoping to get from the experience?
I always go into any investigation just without too much expectation. I've heard a lot about the place, obviously, and I've heard good things and bad things. I've heard that there's a lot of fishing line tied to things, and there's a lot of things to look for where people fake stuff. But I've also heard from people like Richard Estep, who have said that it's an incredible investigation. There's a lot of investigators out there. I've seen full-bodied apparitions caught on camera numerous times at 30 East Drive. And so it has always been a place that I've wanted to check out for myself. I've just never had the opportunity. And I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I've seen some really cool things. I've heard really great EVPs from the place. But I'm excited to work with you guys. I'm excited to see how you investigate. And, I could learn something from you. Everybody has their own techniques. Everybody has their methods of doing things. And I think it's so important to work with other investigators and see how they do things, Yeah. And, doing EVP sessions there is high on my bucket list.
Yes,
there's gonna be plenty of those.
It seems to be on a lot of people's bucket list. 30 East Drive, people that come from outside of Europe. I actually, before I moved to Toronto, I used to live in a town called Oakville, and I lived on a street. It was 30 East Drive.
Oh wow,
that's incredible. That's
I used to live in a place. It was 30 East Drive. I lived
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so every time I heard 30 East Drive, it takes me back to this place that I used to live on. So I think it's really weird. But as you, I don't know if you know much about Canada, but Canada apparently has copied a lot of names from.
Yeah.
So
I really want to go to Banff Hotel, the Banff Springs Hotel. That's real high on my bucket list as well.
I think there's one place you would love to do. How are you with asylums?
Oh, I love them. Kidding?
The Tranquil Sanatorium.
I know Tranquil Sanatorium.
Yeah, and that is one of the '1 spots here in Canada for
really.
Haunting. Yeah, and that's actually like around a little town.
Oh, cool.
And I think there's like 40 or 50 buildings. Not 40, 50, between 20 and 30 buildings, empty buildings around the whole place. And but
I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah, and it is considered one of the #1 spots for the most hauntings in Canada. And there's actually been some movies that have even been filmed in that spot. But yeah, that's in Kamloops, BC. That's about 5 or 6 hour flight for me because I'm in Toronto. So but yeah, that's a spot that I would love to hit. There's a spot that I go to all the time. I've been there like 5 or 6 times. Like there's the Blue Ghost Tunnel, which is in the top 10 of most haunted places in Canada, and then the Streaming Tunnel as well. I was just there a couple of weeks ago, and again, it was one of those things where and I tell this story because this place is so cool. I don't know why it's not on the top 10 list, because every time I go there, I capture something. I even captured a Class A EVP on my camera. I was outside of the tunnel and I was walking back towards the tunnel, and all of a sudden I heard something to my left, and I turned my camera and I go, "What was that?" Well, I knew I heard something, but so I came home, I put the SD card in my laptop, I went to that spot, and it said, "What's your name?" Clear as day.
Oh,
and
wow. People don't realize that we constantly ask them questions.
Yeah.
But they want to know about us too. So they also ask questions. You need to give them an opportunity to be able to ask you EVP questions too.
I will tell you, if I would have heard it, if I would have played it at that moment, I probably would have told her my name and hopefully had a conversation. But yeah, and there was one other time I was in that place as well, that there's a lot of stories to this tunnel, how this girl passed away. There was one story that I found really, really interesting that I think I got the answer to, that the parents were going through a nasty divorce and the father set the house on the fire. The little girl was still in the house. She got severely burned, ran down to the tunnel, and she ended up dying. There was one night I was there and I said, "Did you die in this tunnel?" And I captured 2 yes. And then I captured burnt at home.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
On my SB7. And that to me, because I had spoken about it earlier in the night, and in the actual video, it goes to the clip where I'm actually speaking about her being burnt at home. And then to capture that on the SB7 later on in the evening was just outstanding. And obviously it was very sad, but there's been a lot of people that have gone to that tunnel to try to find the answers, and I think I found it. And it was just an incredible moment for me, because there's a story out there that she was unfortunately sexually assaulted in the tunnel and then set on fire to cover up any evidence. And I really think when she said burn at home, it really got rid of that story, because that's a terrible, terrible, even if it's a rumor, it's a terrible rumor to be going around about this tunnel.
And that's the thing, you know, a lot of times rumors like that will spread. There'll be this false information. No one really knows the real story. It all becomes a bit hearsay, broken telephone, if you will. And could you imagine being that spirit and hearing people who may have the wrong story completely, and they're there firing these questions at you, and they're like, hey, were you sexually assaulted? Were you this? Were you that? And like, maybe that's completely the wrong story, and they have to deal with that all the time, and they just want the truth told, you know. I think that's why EVP and instrumental trance communication, like spirit boxes and that sort of thing, is so important for us to be able to actually get some decent answers, some decent validation, or pieces of information that we can research, other than just flash the flashing lights. You know, those things are great. They're cool to kind of determine that there's somebody or something there with you. That's fine. But to get like tangible evidence that we can then go and maybe tell their story. You know, I spent a lot of time investigating the White Swan Hotel, and there was a particular spirit there called Virginia Black. And she, again, there were so many different stories, but it's an unsolved murder, basically. They don't know if she fell down the staircase or if she was pushed. And there's many different, many different stories. And some say that she was killed by a farmhand that, you know, she was dating. Others say that she was a prostitute and that she fell in love with a very prominent businessman, one of her clients, and he ended up pushing her down the staircase. But through the years, I was able to get more information from her. And actually, we investigated there for the trip. A handful of us were up in Virginia Black's room. And it was very emotional for me because I had told her story in my book. And I realized that I never told her that I wrote about her. Oh, wow. And so I sat there on the bed and I was like, hey, I've got news for you. Like, I told your story. I spoke about you in my book. It's there forever. It's in print. People are going to know who you are. Yeah. And we got an EVP saying, I like that.
That's cool.
And then I signed a copy of the book. One of my guests had their copy there, and they asked me if I would sign it. And so I wrote a little message, and I signed it from MJ and Ginny, Virginia. And
I'll be getting mine signed.
Down. I put the pen in the book. You gotta bring it with you. So I put the pen down in the book, and I said, hey, Virginia, can you sign it? And we captured an EVP, a very sweet female voice saying, I'll sign. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I broke down crying completely because I was just, it meant so much to me to be able to tell her story. And, you know, I wonder how that feels for her. And I wonder how many other people we could be bringing closure to on the other side just by getting the truth of their stories out there. Yeah. I think it's the most important thing. It's all good fun investigating the paranormal, but what good is it actually doing? Like, what are we discovering? What boundaries are we pushing? Who are we helping?
Yeah.
There's so much more than just going out and checking out a cool haunted location. But anyway, I'm getting really deep.
Yeah. Just to answer this person's question, you can go over to Huntophobia. You will find my page there. It's HUNTA Phobia, all one word. You will find my YouTube channel there. So just to answer that question.
Okay. I do have a YouTube channel called In Search of the Paranormal TV show. And that was a show put together with a very, very small budget. We spent a week investigating each location, and we did Drakelow Tunnels in Kidderminster. We did the Skirrid Inn in Wales, and we did Bodmin Jail. So we spent a lot of time interviewing people. We investigated it every single night for a few nights in a row. We looked like zombies by the end of it, genuinely, like bloodshot eyes and no sleep.
Wow.
But definitely check it out. If you go on YouTube, you can watch the investigations in search of the Paranormal TV.
That's
so
cool.
Cassie would like to know, do you use apps or just an EVP?
I don't really use apps. I'm not a big fan of apps. I like using various different recorders. I love using the Spirit Box. I love a REM pod. You know, if I'm going to say like my grab and go is literally those three things. It'll be an EVP recorder, a Spirit Box, and a REM pod. And I do a lot of grab and go investigations. So that's like my main little kit. That's standard. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of other equipment that I like, but
cool.
Yeah.
If there was one spot in the world that you can go to, your bucket list, your number one spot, where would that be?
I'm taking that comment as Carl saying equipment is my job. That has to be Carl. Carl's my tech guy. Carl brings, like,
I know there was somebody said. I know somebody said hi, Carl, in the room earlier. So
yeah,
it probably is.
Okay, Carl is the tech master. Like that man has every freaking light that flashes, every beeping piece of equipment, anything that can record anything in any way. He has it. That's his job. I speak to dead people and record their voices. That's me. It's me. Cool. Hey, Carl. One location. Oh my gosh. Hey, Sheila from Belgrove. Just one.
Well,
do your top three.
Okay.
Yeah, do your top three.
Top three locations in the world.
It's tough.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's real tough. I'm going to go. They change. Every time somebody asks me this question, they change. Because I discover new places or Trans-Allegheny Asylum.
Yes, that's
okay.
That's gotta be one. Chillingham Castle in England. I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm going to throw it out there. Robben Island Prison in South Africa.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yes. Where Nelson Mandela was held.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm curious. What's Rob's? What's Rob's?
No pressure then. Spots? What are yours?
What's mine? Mine is Suicide Forest. Egypt. Egypt would be another one. Cairo. Outside of Cairo, there's a place. I don't know if you're familiar with this. Outside of Cairo, there's a place called the Dead City that 1 million people live in, and they all live in tombs. I would love to go to the Dead City or even the pyramids for that matter. Those are my two number one spots for sure.
Okay.
And cool. Alcatraz might be my third.
Yeah, I'd like to do it because it's cool, but
it's just because the fact that it's Alcatraz.
Yeah, that's it. That's cool.
So, and like I've done some. Like I went to a spot last year that I know a lot of people have gone to, and to me, it was very disappointing. And that was Bobby Mackey's. That was very disappointing. Yeah, I've heard it's very, very disappointing. I was disappointed with that one, to be honest. But the rest of the other investigation we did really put Bobby Mackey's like way behind me. And that was Octagon Hall in Kentucky.
Now I really want to do Octagon Hall.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it an 11.
Wow.
It was incredible. From the moment we got there, from the moment we left, there was activity. And go ahead.
There's a great location called the Valley Camp. It's a ship in Michigan, in Sault Ste. Marie. Okay. Man, that place is off the charts as well. It's really great investigation. I'm excited. I get to do it again in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's cool. When we first got into Octagon Hall, we walked in the door and we were listening to Bear, who's the tour guide of Octagon Hall. He was talking about the pictures, all the pictures up on the wall of some of the most famous people that have been there. And some of them weren't even paranormal investigators. They were just there as guests. But anyways, all of a sudden, I was with this gentleman named Adam, and we were standing there listening to the bear, and all of a sudden both of us heard it. Now, if it was one, you can maybe go, okay, well, maybe not. But both of us heard it at the same time. It sounded like somebody's being dragged along the basement floor that was wearing chains.
Damn.
And we both heard it at the same time. And there was one moment when we were setting up all of our equipment in the main room where they have this huge table. About 7 feet away from me, there's a cabinet. And it's got glass doors with the wooden frame around the glass. And all of a sudden we heard this, what sounded like to be a door shaking. I looked to my left. One door on the cabinet was shaking, trying to open. And I looked at my buddy, Adam. We looked at the cabinet and we go, did that just happen? So we tried to recreate it to maybe think maybe it was one of us that was moving, that the floor was kind of uneven and it was moving it. Nope. Like I didn't even move. And Adam was about 12 feet away from it. So of course we didn't have our cameras going because we were setting up our equipment. But I'm telling you, if anybody in the room or yourself, MJ, if you get the chance to go to Octagon Hall, and even Rob, go. Because
I really want to.
You are going to have a blast. If you want
they
paranormal,
do dinner with a ghost, don't they?
What's that?
They do dinner with a ghost, don't they?
I don't know if they do that, but I know if you can do a tour. It's like $5 for a tour of the place. And they're great because a lot of these places, especially the places in the States, are really quite expensive. And they seem to be getting more and more expensive. We were there for 14 hours and we spent $300.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. And it was really 6 of us. And yeah, it was incredible.
You definitely need to check out Belgrove Plantation in King George, Virginia.
Okay.
It is incredible. It's President James Madison's birthplace. So very, very historic. It's really cool. Man, that place is amazing. It's one of my favorite places in the world to investigate. I could investigate it every day. And
another place that disappointed me as well was White Hill Mansion.
Okay.
That kind of because I'd heard so much about White Hill Mansion, and obviously maybe the night that I went, it was not very active, and you can always go back the following week and it's like super, super active. But I'd heard so much about this place, and when I got there, they were saying the activity's off the charts and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter what day you go or what time you go; it's like no.
Yeah. I feel like that's how I'm going to be with Trans-Allegheny. I feel like I'm going to get there and be super disappointed. I really, really want to do Sweet Springs Sanitarium.
I've heard so much about Trans-Allegheny too. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I know people have gone and they said it is scary.
And Waverly Hills is another one in Kentucky that I really want to do.
I think again, I know Ernie from and he talk. I see him all the time on shows, and I've been on a couple of shows with him and stuff like that. And they had those massive problems with, the site. And I'm glad it's over. By the way, I'm glad it's over. I'm glad they won. But I've heard a lot about that place. Good things and bad things. I've heard, I think it's because it's so big and there's been so many people that have gone there, and it's like that telephone game, like you talked about earlier, it's all over the place, to be honest. And again, like I went to Bobby Mackey's and it wasn't great. No, that's fine. But the history is what really appealed to me the most. I think the most scariest spot in Bobby Mackey's was probably the parking lot, because there was a killing there 4 or 5 months before, and if people know Bobby Mackey's, like the train tracks right behind Bobby Mackey's, it's quite famous. But then beyond that, you don't really want to be walking down the path at nighttime because there's a lot of homeless people, and you could either get mugged or get killed. So that's probably really the most scariest places around Bobby Mackey's. To me, what's scary in Bobby Mackey's is all the wires hanging from the ceilings and coming out of the floors, and like it's a walking code violation. Like that, honestly, it should be shut down because of the amount of code violations that are going on in that place. Like, I'm surprised it hasn't burnt to the ground, it's just incredible. But anyways,
I've just seen a comment.
Yep.
Sorry. I was just saying, going to Sweet Springs in 2 weeks, and the team wants me to go in the swimming pool. Tyler, is that you? I can't see who's commented that. I'm so jealous. Get in the pool, dude.
What's going on with the pool? What's going on with the pool?
Oh, it's first of all, it's creepy as hell, but I mean, I don't know if I'd do it.
Okay.
Well, if you don't want to do it, I'm definitely not going to do it. It's John Howe.
It's John. John, you're doing Sweet Springs in 2 weeks? That's not fair.
I'm sure there's places that you've been that he wants to go.
Damn it.
So I'd like to do the Hellfire Caves.
Yes, Healing Spring. Sorry, you want to do where?
The Hellfire Caves.
He said no. There's another. No, this is Tyler, though, and the pool is Healing Spring.
It's a Healing Spring, yeah.
Okay.
The don't get your hopes up about the Hellfire Caves.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, so I did it for the show Paranormal Captured, and I got left alone in the Hellfire Caves, completely on my own. We set up static cameras, and the team left. The crew left. They were listening to my audio though, so if there was any emergencies or anything, they could run back in. And I'd heard so many rumors of this chanting captured on EVPs, and the rituals that take place, and blah blah blah. And so I decided to do a bit of a witchy ritual in the inner temple. So I burnt a whole bunch of herbs and resins and things, and I got all witchy in there and decided to sit in there on my own and do an EVP session. Yeah, I debunked most of the stuff in Hellfire Caves. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that you're when people are like, oh, they feel taps on their shoulders, there's water dripping from the ceiling constantly. And if it rains, you're going to get wet. Huh?
There's rumors it's body fluid, isn't it? It's because they're all buried up there.
Body fluid. That's bloody rain, man.
Well, the favorite YouTubers from America, certain two young lads. They were there.
Oh no, let's not even start talking about them, please.
Anyway,
let's not even start.
It is called rain.
Good. I did an investigation at the Old Angel Inn in Niagara-on-the-Lake last year and a half ago, and 2 weeks before I got there, those two young lads were there, and the general manager was not happy by the time they left, because they were walking around and all of a sudden they would stop and go, oh, what's that? And they start jumping around and stuff like that when there was absolutely nothing there. And now the only reason why the general manager wasn't that pissed, because they have 4 million followers.
Well,
so it's going to help their business. But where the real haunted spots in that place is upstairs in the hotel part.
Okay.
And in the bar part. If you actually go to their website, there's actually an apparition that was caught on security camera.
Oh, cool.
And it actually looks like a soldier wearing, because this place was built in 1785, and it got burnt down a little bit in the War of 1812, because the War of 1812, like Grimsby and that whole area, was the center point of the War of 1812. So there was a gentleman that was killed in the basement, that was hiding in one of the wine barrels because they invaded the bar, and he got killed with a bayonet while he was in the wine barrel. Apparently he's still there and he's haunting the place. Now, for me personally, when I look at it, I see a woman.
Okay.
So, but it actually, if the way it looks like a jacket with the buttons that are going across from the time of that. And it does look like that, but I see a woman. But if anybody wants to look up the Old Angel Inn in the comments, go to that website and you'll actually see the apparition that they caught on security camera. It is actually really, really super cool. And in fact, in that same area, there was a guy. This is actually kind of funny, actually. There was a guy that hurt his arm. He just said he hurt his arm. And all of a sudden, the first aid kit came flying off the shelf.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. It is
you have a helpful dose. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and what's funny is when it flew off the shelf and hit the ground, the tensor bandage came rolling out.
That's really cool. And, I love things like that. Like when they ask you questions from the other side, or when they're like trying to lend a hand. I think one of the funniest EVPs that I think it was John Tenney that captured it. John Tenney, if you don't know who he is, look him up. He is amazing. That man will blow your mind every lecture. Like, just, I could speak to him forever. Honestly, he's just such a wealth of knowledge. And he has a book out called, I think it's called One Last Thing. I might be lying, but it's all of his like favorite EVPs that he's ever captured through years of investigating. And there's several in that book where it's like the investigators ask, like, could you make a knock? Or they hear a knock and they're like, did you make that noise? And they captured an EVP saying, like, bumped my elbow. And then it's like, could you do that again? And it's like, yeah, but it hurts. It's like all these like real funny EVPs that you get from the other side. We had the happy birthday. Recently, Elizabeth, she's in the comments. She popped up earlier. She creeped the hell out of a ghost. I didn't even think that was possible. Like, she creeped out the ghosts in the prison at Shepton Mallet a couple of weeks ago. We played a really creepy song. I don't know if you know it. I think it's called Hide and Seek. It's like real, like the ding dong. I know you can hear me. It's real creepy, like that high pitched kid's voice. So she played that in the prison, and we're in A block of Shepton Mallet. Yeah, she literally creeped a ghost out. And so we stopped the song, but carried on the EVP recording, and we just stayed silent. And I audibly heard, like, well, clairaudiently heard a guy say, like, what the F was that? From the top floor, like, what the hell, man? Like, that was creepy. And it's actually on the recorder. We played the recorder back, and you hear this guy like, what the F was that?
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was super funny. I love things like that, where they're either helpful or funny, or but if their personality comes through, it's very cool.
So I'm not sure who this is, but they said you should tell them about the crazy time at St. Albans.
It's one of two people. It's either Tyler or John, because there was just the three of us there.
There you go.
Yeah, so the three of us had the entire St. Albans Asylum to ourselves, and it was an epic investigation. I think one of the creepiest moments it's Tyler. Awesome. Thanks, Tyler. I saw a shadow person stood behind Tyler, and it kind of moved, and we were doing an EVP session at the time. And I think I forget exactly what it said, but Tyler asked something like, are you behind me? Because that's where I'd seen this figure. And we captured a real class A EVP saying behind you. We went down into like the isolation cells, where they had like drug addicts and alcoholics and all of that sort of thing down there. And John had said, we thought we would come down and have a chat with you. We come in and check out your room and come and say hi. And we have a Class A EVP saying, it's my room. There were some wild things that took place in St. Albans. That's another really, really cool place to investigate.
There we go.
Hi. Doing well, Nando. How are you?
He obviously chickened out about coming on the live. Sarah's probably got him under the thumb, like, you're not going on the live, that's it.
We've probably got a cocktail in hand, or at least I hope you have a cocktail in hand.
Well, what time is it there? It's 10:30 over there. I think they're on the same time as you guys. So I think it's like it's going on to 11:15. So I would hope he would have a drink. I've been telling him for the last several days to, put the phone down, dude.
Yeah.
Spend time with your family on your vacation.
Yeah,
I love hearing from you. I love hearing from you. Nando's actually my director for Global Ghost Hunt. And so there's always something going on with Global Ghost Hunts. So I think he just wants to make sure he's staying in the loop on everything that's going on, because if he doesn't, then when he gets back, there's going to be so much to do. But
catch up.
Catching up and stuff like that. So
Nando is a really good friend now. I've grown to love him a lot, because like he's helped me out a lot through everything when we first met up, when Brian came over. So yeah, it was nice that Nando wanted to be part of this with me. So it's good.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a good show. What number is this now? 5, 6?
Number 7 or 8, maybe. Because last week StreamYard crashed last week. It just halfway through, I think we'd only been on 33 minutes. We were chatting to Heather Matteson, and it just shut off completely. Just deleted the video, the whole lot. So
I was doing my show yesterday, and I had it set up for 8 pages, and then all of a sudden, it went live. All the pages were going live. Everything was fine, and then all of a sudden, boop, 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 boop. The quotations started coming up on all the pages except YouTube and Twitter, and I was going, "Hello, like what is going on here?" I think StreamYard is doing I see something new here that I've never seen in StreamYard before, and now there's private chat comments live and stared, and I've never seen that before. So these are new things. So I'm starting to wonder, with all these things coming in, it's causing other problems with the site. So it's always so anyhow, other than that, you have any more questions, Rob, that you'd like to ask?
No, I'd like to thank you very much for coming on, MJ, and I look forward to seeing you on the 5th of September. See you in the flesh.
Excited.
I'm so jealous. Maybe I'll just fly out there. Maybe I'll just fly over there for the feud, because it's a long flight though. It's like 7-8 hour flight, and the jet lag and the time difference. So it's not like I can come up there for like 3 days. I have to go out there for at least a week. But I'm telling you, I really think I need to come out there, and I can do it. I can easily book a flight and come out there.
Do it. There's a space.
There's do it. Go and investigate someplace. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
Come to the dark. I'd love the dark side over there.
Literally, our summer is really the dark side at the moment. It's been dreary as hell.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Nadia,
so she has a question for me. Okay.
Fire away, Nadia. Leave your question in the comments, and then we can ask him.
Yeah.
I do have one more question for Brian. Yeah.
So you should come to Michigan to the MI Paracon.
Well, it's interesting because I'm supposed to be going to the Paracon on the 19th, the Ghostorama Paracon.
Okay.
So my very first encounter. Here's an interesting story. It wasn't my very first, but it was my very first experience being touched. How about that? So when I was 15 years old, and I think Rob's heard this story before. When I was 15 years old, one of my good friends' grandmother passed away. So I went down there, and nobody knew at this time I was able to see these spirits, right? So so I went down to his place just to see how he was doing about 3 weeks after she passed away. And so we went down into his bedroom. I sat on his bed. He was across from me. And all of a sudden, I felt like was a hand touching my wrist. And then all of a sudden, it felt like a head was leaning on my shoulder. It lasted for about 30 seconds and disappeared. Now, during that moment that was going on, I told my buddy, something's touching my wrist and something's leaning up against me. And he goes, bull crap. You know, obviously he thought I was lying. I go, dude, look to my right. There was an indent in the bed, like somebody was sitting beside me.
Nuts.
Wow.
And it lasted 30 seconds and disappeared. Now, what the interesting thing about all of that is, his grandmother used to do that to me when she was alive.
Aww.
So it was almost like she was saying goodbye to me.
Aww.
And
Lovely.
it was a really, really scary moment. Mm-hmm. But it was another interesting thing is when, you know, a lot of people get touched by spirits and they say it's a cold feeling or something like this. The complete opposite. It was a warm feeling.
I've had that.
And it was absolutely amazing. And like I said, it lasted about 30 seconds and then disappeared. And it was almost like she was saying, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for being part of this family, and I love you. And she disappeared, and that was it. And it was an amazing moment. And every time I think about that moment, I always get very choked up, and it's a little overwhelming because she did that to me.
Yeah,
and
that's lovely, though.
Yeah,
what a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it was. It really was. And I continually talk about that story because I think people need to understand when it comes to spirits, they're not all bad.
Yeah,
they're not all bad. There's a lot of spirits out there that just want to love you, and that's it.
I say this so many times, you know, even during investigations, for instance, in asylum, and somebody gets scratched really badly or feels like a physical grab or something, and your instant reaction is like, you're in this big, scary, abandoned asylum. You instantly think the worst. You instantly think, well, I've been harmed. Something here is trying to harm me. I have marks on my body. So people freak out. But what if that person didn't know how else to communicate? What if they had a disability? And they were just trying to grab you and grab your attention? What if that scratch was never meant to be a scratch? What if they were just trying to get your attention and didn't mean to harm you in any way? You know, maybe it was just the only thing that they could do, or maybe they didn't realize how much force they were putting into it, just trying to grab you or get your attention. There are so many experiences that people jump to the worst conclusion because hashtag it's a demon is what we see on TV all the time. It's shoved down your throats constantly, and everybody's on that bandwagon. But there are so many places that I investigate where I have some of the most incredible warm experiences interacting with the other side. Not everything is scary. Not everything is a demon. Not everything's out to get you. Sometimes
I guess that's why it always bothers me when you see all this stuff and you see these people on YouTube going demonic in their thumbnails, and you know it really that kills me. That kills me the most.
You got the thumbnail for this now.
It's
and you know, it really irks me when you know, and I don't watch the videos. I look at their thumbnails and I go, okay, whatever. And and like my good friend Lex, who's my partner on through the lens, if he sees anything in the title that says demonic, he will not watch it.
Don't even bother.
It's clickbait, and people need to stop watching it and stop supporting those type of videos, but a lot of them, some of those, hey, listen, at the end of the day, I don't watch them, but some of them are very, very entertaining. And that's how you have to look at it. Yeah.
The problem is that, it's the people with the biggest followings, social media followings and things. Yeah. My social media presence is awful. My followings are absolutely awful because it's not about numbers for me. Somebody said to me the other day, like television wise, they were like, oh, you really need to get your following up. And I was like, okay. And I put up a thing on Facebook and that the other day. And I was like, hey guys, can you like follow me or something? I'm like real shit at this.
I can just picture it. Hey guys, please follow me.
Yeah, like literally, like
with a little sad emoji at the end of it.
Literally, because it's not about that for me. It's not, not about that at all. And it's the people who have these like 3-4 million followers that are sharing misinformation about the paranormal. They're giving it such a bad name. I mean, you have 4 million people following you, God knows why, but you do. Yeah. And why don't you use that to actually educate people? Like,
there's somebody on TikTok. There's somebody on TikTok. I don't know if you've ever seen her. She lives about 20 minutes away from me. She has like 26 million followers on TikTok, and she's been with those two guys that we didn't mention their names. She's the one that took them to that old Angel Inn. But she does paranormal investigations. She hangs out with people that fake videos. So obviously my personal feeling is if you're hanging out with the people that fake videos, you're faking your videos. So, but I understand where these people are coming from because money is the root of all evil. Let's be honest. And they have to keep that going to get that check every single month. But like you said, they're damaging our industry. I know a lot of people that would love to go to the government and get a grant for some of their experiments because they want to find the answers. But the government aren't doing grants because of what these people are doing on YouTube that they know they're faking. Yeah, so unfortunately it's a snowball effect that it's never going to get rid of unless people stop watching those videos.
There's a good question for all three of us there. So MJ, 3 people apart from your team, who would you like to take on an investigation with you?
Ooh, that is a tough question.
It's coming to you next, Brian.
Oh, I don't even think I have an answer.
Okay, wait, no, you answer first.
Oh, God. Put me on the spot. Oh wow, let me think about this.
Like anyone in the world ever, dead or alive? Does it have to be like living people?
I should imagine it's living.
Living people? Damn it. Yeah. Okay.
This is the quietest I've seen Brian.
Yeah, I don't
really
know.
Hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm thinking of the other two. Like, give me a second. This is real difficult. I got to think this through.
I know people are probably not going to like my answer, but I have to be honest. I'd love to investigate with Jason Haas.
Okay.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, and I know his daughter Satori, and both of them are great. And I honestly, I think he seems like a really, really down to earth type of guy. And but there's so many people like I like it's a long list on people that I'd love to investigate with.
Yeah, it's real tough to narrow it down. Okay, hold on. I need one more. I got 2.
I'd love to go out with Dakota, only because they pushed themselves to the limit, like locking themselves in body coolers and things like that. But yeah, other than that, I'm happy with like my team, Brian when he comes over, Nando and Lex. I'm happy with them.
Okay, so Corey Taylor from Slipknot.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so we're going. Okay, so
because he is an investigator.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I say Stormy Daniels?
Really?
I'm sorry. I had to throw that out.
I mean, okay, so if we're going this route, so I'm gonna go Corey Taylor from Slipknot.
Okay. Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay, because food is everything.
Oh, that's
somebody
a
has
good
to
one.
Supply the snacks, damn it.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
And John Zaffis, the godfather of the paranormal, because I need to see those three people together in one room, basically.
Yeah. Is Gordon now? Gordon Ramsay's obviously not a paranormal investigator.
No, he's a great chef.
He is a great chef.
I think with
so.
My
if we're
stomach,
going in that direction, on picking somebody in that direction, geez, I have a book that I could that I could shout out. But no, that's it. You know what? Whoever asked that question, who was that? Who asked that question? It was Facebook user.
Carl.
But that's amazing. Oh, Carl, that is an amazing question. I love that question. Good for you. Good for you on that question.
Ooh, yes. We need to do remote viewing.
That's going to be a new question on Through the Lens.
To come to Sage Paracon, sure.
That's a new question on Through the Lens right there.
John Zaffis, I love investigating with John Zaffis. I've had the pleasure of investigating with him several times. John has been a mentor to me for years. I mean, he's my go-to person when things get real bad and I'm dealing with something that I genuinely have no idea. He is the person that I go to and, speed dial and I'm like, hey, Johnny, help me. But he is so much fun to investigate with, and he's just got such a wealth of knowledge. It's super fun investigating with him.
That's cool.
And he reminds me a lot of my dad, whose name was also John, who was also Greek, who actually looked like him.
It's funny. Part of my first name is Brian John. There you go.
Yeah.
John's all over the place. There you go.
So before we wrap the show up, would you like to answer that?
Damn it, guys. No, it's not actually my story to tell. It was actually John Zaffis' story. So John has done Sage Paracon in the past, and he's told the story. And we also do a Sage Paracon at home. So it's a 3-day online paranormal convention. Everything is done via Zoom. And I have speakers for the full 3 days and different lectures and all sorts of things. And John was telling us the story that there was a lady who was convinced there were several items in her house that were haunted, that had attachments. And thanks, you like seeing me blush. One of the items was quite questionable. So she wrapped everything in tinfoil and asked John Zaffis to bring a priest in to bless the items. And let's just say it wasn't a banana.
Okay.
She had a haunted vibrator, apparently.
Different.
So imagine John and them surprised when they open up tinfoil and
found a rabbit.
Yeah. Trying to get the priest to bless her rampant rabbit. That's very interesting story. John nearly got arrested for disposing of one. It happened to be a small doll that was haunted, and he happened to throw it over a bridge into a river. And the cops happened to see him lugging the child over a bridge. And people thought he was trying to get rid of a body. And it actually just happened to be a haunted doll. You need to speak to the man. He's got the most incredible stories. I've always said to him, because he did the show Haunted Collector. And I've always said to him, I just want to follow him around with a camera. I'll produce it. I will direct it. I just need to pick an item in his haunted museum and have him tell the story of each item, because he's got some of the funniest stories you've ever heard in the paranormal field. Genuinely.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, so, thanks for that, guys.
Yeah.
What a way to end the show.
So I'd like to say thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you, guys.
it's been a great pleasure talking to you and actually running the show. You know, like last time I was just a guest with Nando, chatting in the. So it's nice chatting to you like this. Brian, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I think you're amazing. I think you're great. This was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of amazing comments in the chat as well. And thank you for everybody that came out to watch the show. And MJ, it was a pleasure meeting you. I am going to add you. I know you're not big on the social media thing. I'm going to add you on my Facebook page.
Yes,
and
please.
Maybe I'll get you on Through the Lens down the road.
I would love that.
Because I think there's so much more that we can talk about, and I know Lex would love to meet you, and I know you're going to be meeting him in September.
Yeah.
And maybe what we'll do is we'll bring you on after that if you're not too busy.
Sure,
and you guys can talk about your investigation at 30 East Drive. I think it's going to be you guys, and maybe I might be there. So I might be there. Yeah. So I'm going to try. But it was a pleasure meeting you. And
likewise, this has been really fun.
Definitely, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And thank you, Rob, for having me as your guest co-host today.
Thank you to everybody in the comments for watching and interacting and sharing and helping me with my, hey guys, can you share this?
So MJ, I'll pop you in the back room and we'll chat in a sec, okay?
Sure, no worries. Good night, guys.
Thank you. Cheers.
Wow. That was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for asking me to do this show, buddy. I appreciate that.
No, my pleasure.
It was a lot of fun, and great guest. You had a great guest.
Yeah, she's lovely. She really is. And I'm looking forward to it. Oh, here we go.
What's going on? What's going on?
I've got to bring it back up because
I thought I'd quickly come and say hello to everyone before you all shut off. So, hey everyone. Hope everyone's doing good.
He looks tan. He looks tan.
Right?
Yeah.
I look nice.
You do.
I said to Rob, I'll experience sometime in the show, if I remember, and I'm not too drunk. So yeah, I thought I'd quickly come and say hello to everyone.
Well, we put your holiday snaps up earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's for all those that are
not the ones I sent you in private chat, was it?
So there's one.
Whoopsie.
And then there's that one. Look how lovely that one is.
Yeah, I know. It's been good. But you guys have a good show? Was it good?
Yeah, it was great.
Very enjoyable.
2 hours, buddy. I think that's a good show.
And we're still live now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We are live.
We are still live. Yes. No swearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're still live.
Hi, everyone in the audience. How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? Yes.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
She's in bed. What is going on here?
This is not how I thought the show was going to end.
I did say to Rob at some point I'd try and pop in just to say hello because I was quite bummed that Rob messaged me and he was like, "Oh, I got MJ on," and I was like, "When?" On this day, and I was like, "You plum, I'm on holiday. I can't come and say hello now." But no, I thought I'd quickly come and say hello. I know Brian misses me because I get a lovely message from him every so often since I've been away.
Oh, really? Who's the one that's been messaging me every day? And how many times have I told you, dude, walk away from the phone, spend the time with your family on your beautiful holiday. And obviously you are, but then you come on a live show with your wife in bed. Like, what is going on here?
Hey, we're all friends, we're all family, really, aren't we? So it doesn't matter.
There we go, look. Your wife is looking amazing in the comments.
Yeah.
Thank
you. You look well tanned, buddy. Looking good.
I know,
looking sharp.
I'm tanned here. Here, I look like lobster.
Not so much.
Lobster colour.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Not fun.
Portion of the program.
But it's been a good holiday so far. I just wanted to say hello to everyone and catch up and just say miss everyone.
Yeah,
everyone's doing great day.
Miss you too, man.
Enjoy the rest of your holiday. I'm looking forward to investigating with you guys soon.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good investigation. I know.
He may be flying over.
Who? Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to try. Yeah.
Who invited him to the party?
Well, I said there was one.
Okay, I'm going now. I'm going now. I'm going now.
I invited him.
I'm going now.
It's going to be.
I'm going.
It's going to be a great investigation, especially if you come down. Oh, here we go.
You've upset him now, Steve. Oh, that's it.
He knows I love him. He knows it's a joke.
You've gone as a director of the Global Ghost Hunt.
Yeah, Brian, come back. Come back.
Joking, Brian.
Nah, he knows I'm joking. He's winding me up. But Brian, come back, please.
That's it. You've upset him. Well done, Nando.
No, he's there still. He's doing it because he knows I sweat and I'll worry. Wait, I'll message him in a minute. But no, I just thought I'd quickly say hello to everyone. And glad the show was good. There he is. See, I told you. He knows I'm joking.
I know you were joking. It's all good.
Hey, I'm not being right. He cracks balls all the time with me, honestly.
Yep.
So
always
a bit of a comeback is all good. But I just thought I'd come and say hello quickly. Missing everyone, and I'm glad you had a good show.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon.
Very soon.
And we'll see you in September.
Yes.
It'll be a good investigation.
Bye.
Go spend time with your wife, buddy.
Sarah. Bye, Nando.
Bye, everyone. Love you all. Bye.